Green Apple, we continue our track-by-track listen through to their first commercially released album. Well, it's a mini album, Progressive. We are now on to track number 4. We're over halfway. Yeah, I mean, I know it's a mini album EP thing, but still, just wow. Yeah, this one's gone by really quickly. Anyway, the song's called Anzenbai. It's, I just noticed almost all of the songs on this are, I mean, the average song length on this album is over 4 minutes. That's pretty impressive for a new band. It just shows how many ideas they had bursting from the scenes. But anyway, look, I've been enjoying this so far. I really, the opening song was a great little rock volley. And then we had Nanio Nanio, which was kind of like a little bit edgy, full of like slightly subversive, crazy rock ideas. Conflict took us to a bit more of a grand soundscaping place with a very beautiful melody. And now Anzenbai, let's see where we go. But definitely, this so far has felt like an album that definitely does give you a good idea for how they became the band that we know now. But I'm really interested to see what we get on the rest of this. Hopefully some more surprises and some more familiar little nods towards the more recent material. Anyway, let's go. Anzenbai. Oh, nice rhythm. Very sharp, dry sound on the piano there. Again, a lot of these sort of dissonant sounding progressions. Sounded like a female vocal for a minute, huh? Again, this is in a balance between the guitars. Yeah. Where did the scratching come from? Again, this is very indicative of the music they would create later, but I'm loving the playful sounds and the... Those syncopated rhythms between the guitars is so satisfying. That's catchy. That's catchy. How is this not a single? I can see why this band blew up off the back of it. Like, so far, any one of these songs could be the single. Alright, let's see what we get in the bridge. Nice breakdown. Building up that emotional weight. Yeah. That's a great chorus to drop in on. Because immediately crowd. Everyone can sing along. That's a great way to drop into a chorus. Suddenly throw in a few like minor chords, add a little bit of tension. I'm not sure how I feel about that scratch sound. It's a bit weird, but it's kind of fun. It's in line with the kind of silly tone of the song. Oh, the rising bass line there. Very interesting song. Very interesting song. I mean, so the first thing I must say about this definitely continues that thing that I know I've said for a lot of my Mrs. Green Apple reviews of the fact that it's very playful with sound. And I really like that about it. The use of the little keyboard sounds, how it was going through slightly playful synths into like the kind of piano. There's really great movement on the keyboard sounds in all of those songs, but you can really feel it on this album. I think maybe it's just the rawness, maybe it's just the way that I'm personally listening to the album, because I'm thinking of it in a more raw context because it's older. But you can really feel the movement between like having two keyboard layers and one on piano, one on synth, and you can kind of hear how he's bouncing between the different sounds. It's very satisfying. It's so interesting that for a band who already they fill up their songs by having, you know, two guitar lines that are almost always different, a keyboard line that is always different, and a vocal line that is already always different, meaning that the songs always sound so thickly layered. The fact that even then the keyboard is not just one sound, but it's usually a layered, two layers of keyboard. It's brilliant. This is one of the reasons why those songs are so satisfying. It's so easy to go back and re-listen to, because if you think about what this song is, in its very simplest light, it is just basically a very simple sort of plodding, mid-tempo, happy little pop song with a fairly repetitive, if extremely addictive chorus. You know, there's nothing about this that you would say is like, oh, that's a really great example of Mrs. Green Apple at their top. It's just kind of like a very nice, plodding, simple song, and yet it feels so satisfying. You could feel like you could go back and re-listen to it, and that's because, you know, the guitars sort of bouncing syncopation between the two guitars as they're sort of chirping off of each other from your left and right headphone. And then the keyboard, you know, two layers of keyboard, again, just that's one person who's doing a call and answer section with himself between two sounds he's got control over. The drums, the way that they again are always so nice in these. I did like the fact that even in the last chorus, once it had all wrapped it up, sealed the deal, the song was fun, it was poppy, it was great, we could round it up at that point, but then they added that little bit where suddenly the drums come in heavy and the chords then shift into a different pattern, and we get a little bit of, you know, sort of those minor chords come in, the sound becomes a little bit more contentious, a little bit more, I would say, conflicted, but Conflict was the last song. It has a little bit, it takes on a little bit of a different tone. It's a song that really feels like structurally simple, fun, easy pop song, but they again feel like they're bursting full of ideas on this, which is just what makes it so damn satisfying. I will say, yeah, this is a song that you could absolutely release as a single, mostly because of the fact that as repetitive as that chorus is, it's very much a catchy one, and it's going to be a crowd pleaser for sure. Even if this didn't come out as a single or get a music video or anything like that, you can imagine that when they played this at shows, the crowd would have loved this. Sometimes bands have songs like that where it's like, it's just the one that the crowd loves. I can imagine this was definitely that for them, at least at this time in their career. I don't know whether it's one they still play now. I would perhaps doubt it, but definitely, in the context that this came out, this would have been a lot of fun to see live. I just found this to be a really nice example of what you want to get from an album track. Even if it does feel catchy like a single, it's different from any of the three songs that have come before, and yet it's still full of all these playful, fun ideas. You know, I really just love the fact there's so many sounds bouncing at you. The melody, pretty simple. It was funny that when he first came in, he was singing very high, and it literally sounded like a female voice. I think he was starting a little bit of falsetto. I was like, wait, is the drummer singing this? And and it just, his voice came back down. I was like, oh no, it's Amaury. So it was like, that was a fun little aspect to it as well. This definitely, though, for me was the sort of song where, would I necessarily go and listen to it in isolation? Probably not. Would it be very satisfying as part of an album listen? Yes. You wouldn't treat this as a skipping track. You wouldn't skip over this track. This is one that you would enjoy every time it came round on the album, even if you didn't listen to it specifically on its own. And I do think this is a song that would have worked very well live as well. So I imagine this is not just some generic throw it on the album kind of song. This genuinely feels like something that has got a little bit of its own charm. So I really enjoyed that. Thought that was a ton of fun. As always, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.